Welcome back and thanks for joining me again. It's Judy from Thistledew Creations, and today I'm playing around a little bit in these paper bag bottom journals is what I'm calling them, because they're made out of the bottom of a paper bag, literally. Let's see if I've got one here. When you harvest, what I did was I made the cover of the book out of the bottom of the paper bag. So this part, this whole part, left it folded up. I trimmed this more flush with the bottom, and then I just folded it in half, and then I decorated it. So both of these are made the same way. And then the next section of the bag was used to make pages for this one. So these are just plain paper bag paper. This one I did in more of a junk journal style. So I've got a whole bunch of different kinds of papers that coordinate a little bit with what's going on the front. I've got some pinks, some graph, some coffee dyed, some Temu paper, some ledger, some really nice linen-y paper, coloring book page that's avocado dyed, and I've made a little tuck spot there. Some printer paper, both of those are printer paper, there's a tuck spot there. Another new Temu paper that I got, and a Temu doily. It looks like coffee dyed. I'm surprised to see coffee dyed stuff coming from them. Of course, it could just be ink, it might not be coffee. And then there's the other sides of all of those pages. So we did that in the last video, and I'll link it down below for you if you want to see that, how I sewed that in with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. There's the back cover, more collaging, but not so much a focal point. Focal point on the front with the little birdie. This is from a wallpaper border. And then just a little bit of one of my flowers. Because I had a strong blue presence on the front and I didn't really have any paper that color, I thought I would decorate some of the pages inside with this trim. I don't think this will fold well enough to put it around the spine. It would be hard to get it to glue down. I don't mind seeing the pink strings there anyway. And if I put something on the spine, it's got to be thin because I don't want to disturb the birdie. So I think I'm just going to leave that for now and decorate some pages. So I thought in this front section that these pink pages could use just some, because they have a tuck spot, they could use something to kind of firm them up. So I thought I would put this blue right along the edge there. So I'm going to cut a nice square end on it. And I will just dab, actually what I found before was that if I just used a bit of glue stick on it, that was enough to stop it from fraying. Just kind of gums up and then it won't fray. But if it still frays, I'll go back and do either 3-in-1 or tacky glue. So I'm just going to do right down the edge of the page. So I'll cut it off right there. And actually, I think I will use the tacky glue. And we'll see which one works better by the end of the video. I just put some on, and then I'm going to dab it with my fingers and just smooth it out. There's obviously some fibers already trying to get away, get free. I don't really want it to fray. And then I'm going to glue it on with the 3-in-1 because it'll hold well and dry fast. Sorry, I'm having trouble with my words. I'm going about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, putting a nice, reasonably thick strand of it. And then I am going to have this hanging off the edge so you can see it from the other side as well. So I'll turn the page, just make sure it looks straight on the other side. And that it isn't hanging down too far one way. This has lines on it so you can kind of line it up. It has stitches in it. You don't have a long time to play with it, but you do have a little bit of wiggle room to get it lined up how you want it. And that just gives that whole page a little bit more substance. Being the first page, I like it to be, like I often use cardstock for the first page. And then I will probably go back and put pockets in here. I didn't pick anything out for that. I might pick out some like more patterned paper for that. And that'll be a different video. I just thought I would throw a few trims in here. So I'm going to go right to the back of the book and do the same thing on the back. So starting with doing this to tame those threads. And then measuring out the length. I just wanted to make sure there was some blue, and I just happened to get this yesterday from my niece Kimberly. Probably, I don't know if it came from her actually or from my sister. It was in with a bunch of stuff that Kimberly gave me. They were together. They both saved stuff for me. And this was thrift store find. And I missed gluing that pocket shut, so I'll do that at the same time. You're probably yelling at me in the last video. You missed one. Just a nice amount. It's whenever I'm doing fabrics, I use the 3-in-1, and I use a fair bit if I am concerned about it like soaking in and not sticking. So I've just got it about the same distance out as the one up front. Just kind of lined it up. And then I will flip over to the other side just to make sure that it looks straight from this side. Looks pretty good. So when you first open the book, that's what you'll see. Now this would be a great place to decorate as well. I'm not going to get into that though. I'm going to focus on the trims right now. So I've also picked out some more avocado dyed lace. Now this is much wider. And then this is some lace that I recently cut up a top from Temu that didn't fit me right. It was made for a 400-pound little person. It was very, very wide. Like it would have been wide enough to fit me, but it wouldn't have come to below my bra. It would have been a super crop top, which I just don't have the figure for. So I'm just trimming this up a bit. I didn't do a very good job when I was cutting it away from the sweater. Just tidy it up a bit. I think I said when I was doing it that I might want those wispy bits. I don't. And so I'm just wondering if this would look good here because it's a nice cream colored page. It's not really adding color, but I could always add more color on top of this. This is going to make the whole book a little bit thicker. I'm going to be wishing I had worked in some sort of a closure. It's autumn here in Ontario, and we live in a century-old farmhouse. It's like 1850s it was built, and we have farmland around us. So as you can imagine, the critters are starting to come in, and I'm just hearing one out in the other room, and I just saw my cat creep by the doorway in stealth mode. I think she's gonna get him. So I think I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. I do, like, obviously this is kind of random, these pages, but I still want to do the decorating sort of symmetrical for some reason. Don't know if that ruins it for some of you, but I always seem to do that. I'm just waiting for the noises from out in the other room. He was in under my desk a little while ago, the mouse, trying to get out, but I've got all these bags of stuff under there, mostly upholstery fabric samples, and he's trying to get out. He can't find his way out. Finally moved some stuff so he could get out, because I didn't want him there. And then I was trying to catch him just with like putting a cup over top of him, or I had a cat treat container that I was trying to put over top of him to trap him, but I couldn't get him. That's the cat's job. It's not my job. So I love the blue and pink page. And that's just giving that very utility paper a little bit of prettiness. And then I can see a nice collage over top of that. It would be a good place to write, but I see flowers or something over top of that too. And then the coffee dyed page is pretty enough all by itself, I think. If I was going to do anything, I might do an edger, like a whole bunch of butterflies or something down the edge of the page. Why don't we do that? That I could see myself doing today. And let's look at the colors on the front again. So I've just got a bunch of these butterflies from Temu, but they're the PVC stickers. I don't know if I feel like messing with those while you watch, but I could do, if I can get the right colors, like that blue one would be good. I don't want anything too bright. That pink one would be good. That blue one wouldn't be too bad. It's a little brighter. This green one would be good. Maybe I'll put that in the center. I'm not going to be able to do the same thing on the back page because I won't have enough that are the same. These are kind of nice. So for this, I could go to some of the strips that I tore off the edges of the pages. This is going on the coffee dyed because it's a little bit narrow, right? So if I put something like this on the edge and decorate it with the butterflies is what I'm thinking. But I'm also thinking maybe it should be a paper ruffle. So I have this longer piece from the page that has the little bow in the corner. Why don't I see about making myself a ruffle with this? I don't like my ruffles too perfect. I like them to be more go in each direction, and I don't think that's going to be quite long enough. It's okay though. It doesn't have to be the full length. And then what I could do is, I like to hand sew my ruffles, so why don't I do that? Just hand sew a ruffle for you. I haven't done that in a long time. So I've got some really great tapestry needles and upholstery needles. So they have big, they're thicker around than a normal needle, and they have a nice large hole in the head of the needle, easy to thread. Let's see how we do here. I use the same string that's on the spine. This is some cotton twine that I got, I think, in a thrift haul, pretty sure. Not too long ago. If you've been watching, you've probably saw. And then what I like to do for these is, starting at the back, and I can poke the holes. It makes it easier if you poke the holes. This particular needle is not very sharp. So if I want to make X's, I need 4 holes per X. And then I'm going to put butterflies there, so I don't need, and this is not going to be symmetrical either, and I'm not worried about that. I've got 2 X's here and 1 X here, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So starting at the back side, I come in through 1 hole. I'm going to want to tie myself a knot here. And I just won't pull very hard so it doesn't come through the paper. And then I'm going to go on a diagonal across to the other hole, and then back to this hole, and on a diagonal, and create a little X stitch. And I'm just going to go across underneath, go across to the next set of holes. And just don't pull that tight, just hold it flat and pull. And then I'm going to go again, make another X. I like that it's asymmetrical. It's showing that I don't have to have everything symmetrical. Feels like a little win, because I've been in sort of organization mode lately, and I want to get more creative, get my creative side of my brain working better. I think it's because I've been tired. I've been on a diet, like a low carb keto kind of thing, eating mostly protein. And I have been, I'm not going to say I've been losing a lot of weight, because I haven't, according to the scale, but I have been slimming down. But it's starting to catch up with me in that I'm feeling kind of tired, and that affects my creativity, for sure. And then I just sort of try to tie myself a bit of a knot on the back side. And then I'll also put a little bit of glue on that knot. And then I'm just going to put glue all over the back. And I'm gonna glue it down, just barely sticking off the edge, because I don't want to see my stitches on the back side here. Just going to kind of press that down just for a few seconds. This might need to be glued down. I think I'm going to maybe tuck some butterflies in there first though. Let's see what I got here. I thought I might use this, but I don't know now if that's what I want. I think what I would rather have there is maybe this pink butterfly. Not quite the right shade of pink, but I might let it be. Or this one. But I need something underneath it, or ink maybe, to darken around the edge of that daisy. No, I don't think that's going to do it. Maybe pink edges on that daisy. These are my new Temu Cherry Blossom. Oh, that's a nice pale pink. That might work. Trouble getting these out. So I'm just going to take the ink pad itself. Oh, maybe it isn't even going to show up. I need the darker one. That's better. That one's going to show up. There's already glitter on here. And then this butterfly wing almost becomes like a tab. I'll make it overall more of a pink daisy. This brick red might be too dark. I got these little blending brushes for these inks. Instant Pink Daisy. And then the butterfly, just use the same pink on the edge of the wings there. Pink it up just a bit. It's 2 layers, like a stacked die cut. I just think that looks better against the browns and the ivories. I'm very happy with that. Now this also has some of this, like a pop sticker. I'm also going to put some glue. I just don't trust those to stay long term. Put that right there. And make sure that it doesn't stick to the next page. It's sticking out just a bit. But I think what I'll do is back it with the pink lace from the other side so that you don't see either the back of the ruffle or the back of the butterfly wings. I'm just going to see if I can shift the whole thing over, but I think it's too late. I've got a couple other pink butterflies, but I don't think I need them. I think that is cute all by itself. And then just figuring out how to treat this back side. already got flowers there. Maybe it's not quite the right vibe. Does look good on this side though, doesn't it? Honestly, I kind of like that creates more of a tab. So if I put this, it's going to get rid of that. It makes it easier to turn that page. I think I just want to ink the back of this butterfly wing. And actually, why don't I ink it in the pink? And this is actually called Brick Red. So it's not white. See if I can get it darker around the edges. Not really with these brushes. What I could do though, if I want that darker around the edges look, is take the ink pad itself and go right on the edge. And get that concentrated color. That's fun. And that's dry now. I really like the way that looks. Now the question is, do I do something similar at the back on that same paper? I kind of have to do it while I'm thinking about it, you know what I mean? Maybe instead, because I don't have another one of those, and I have this white butterfly that I could do the same pink inking on. And do I have a daisy? I bet you I have a daisy I could pair them with. It won't be the same, but it'll be similar. See if I've got a white daisy. Well, there's the back side of a too bright daisy. I don't think I have white ones. Roses and other posies. Let's look again at the colors on the front. I could do a blue flower, maybe a hydrangea that's already kind of the right tone of blue. A little bit of purple, a little bit of blue. And create the same sort of effect. Now that was a half butterfly. We don't have a lot of those. They're usually full. I've got a turquoise one, but I think he's a little too bright. I think I'll use the white one and ink it. You know, I'm never one to pick up white things. I always want them to be colors. But lately I've been thinking that things like this are quite useful because you can make them any color you want. And then I will just darken up those edges. I like that it's got a little rhinestone because the other one has glitter. Well, this flower has glitter too. I think I got this die cut in Happy Mail, so if you sent it to me, thank you. I think it's neat when you see someone using something you sent them. And so I'll need to make another ruffle, won't I? Okay, I've got some ledger that I can make the ruffle out of, I think. Oh no, maybe I'll use this more rustic paper to make my ruffle. Oops. I was just going to do laces, and then I get playing and decide to do this. You just never know what you're going to get. Just like Forrest Gump with a box of chocolates. So I'll do 3. Let's do 4. This one might be a little longer because I have more paper to work with. Leave a blank spot for the focal point. And those pleats aren't very even. And that had a nice torn end, so let's tear this end a bit too into sort of a point. And because we're going to be thumbing through the book from front to back, I'll do it on the same page, but I'll do it on the leading side of the page. Just like I did with this. Oh no, with that one I did it on the same back side. Same with that one, I did it on the back side. But I think this one I want on the leading side. I think put it this way. I'll do my sewing. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1 square. I can glue this down. And then again, just 2 and 1. Thank goodness I didn't unthread my needle. It's kind of hard to see the holes in this paper because it's full of dark dots. I think the pink is going to brighten it up a little bit. You could tie a knot and start again on the other side, but I find that, you know, if you're gluing it down, you don't have to worry about that extra bit of string. Just be careful not to over tighten it. back to the back side and find a place where you can do a little stitch. It won't be affecting the front side. And then before you pull it all the way tight, put your needle through and you're kind of making a knot. Tighten that up. Sometimes it's hard to find a place to do this. It's not going to just tear out. Just tie it off, but then I still put a little dab of glue anyway. Just so that that doesn't come undone on me. And then, like I say, just a little bit of glue all through the center. And then position it on the page so it hangs off a little bit. You don't see anything on the back side that you shouldn't see. And just hold that down for a second. And I kind of covered up that one X. So I'm going to fold this under so that we can see that X. And I'll glue it. And I'll glue this down as well. If you don't want to sew, you could just glue all the little flaps down and then draw an X with a marker, or if you have one of the stamps. I've got these stamps, I haven't tried these yet, I just got them, but they look like stitches. So you could add your stitching that way if you really don't want to sew, but you want the look. And then I'm going to do my hydrangea. Is just looking a little bright. I want them bright, but I don't want them that bright. I'm going to take my vintage photo and just give them some ivory coloring. And then just a little bit of inking around the edges of those leaves. Changes the green a little bit. I think this, see, it's more purpley, but there's purple on this too, so I think we're good. And then let's do, this is a little bit of sticky left. I think I'm going to take this one off just because it's a little thicker and it's just one little spot. I want it glued more firmly than that. I put the glue mostly over on this side, just on the one side of the flower, so that the leaves will be our tab. The way that the butterfly wings were our tab on the other one. And I will have to ink that. I can just ink that with vintage photo. I might go in with my moss ink as well. And then this little butterfly, I'll put him up here to kind of balance the 2-in-1. Let's see how this goes. Kind of right there. I can glue more under this wing. And just a little dab right here. So it's different than the other one, but it's the same sort of idea. Actually, I think I like this one better. Ultimately, I think if I had used a lighter strip there, it might have been better. We're our worst critics though, aren't we? Just pink up the back of that butterfly wing. And then I'm going to green up the back of the leaf. With this peeled paint. I will use one of these though. There, that looks good from both sides. Doesn't look the same, but it looks good. What else? What else can we do? This could use something. This doesn't need anything because it's got the doily. I mean, I could put some butterfly stickers in the middle of the doily. There's a nice soft one. Soft color, I mean. Got a couple of those. Maybe those would be good. Just little. Ink them with vintage photo. If I have a third one that would work. There's one that's kind of bluish. Just tend to like things in threes. Certainly not necessary to decorate your doily. It's already decorative enough, but just kind of fun to add some more butterflies since I have so many. Just don't want to mess with the sticker ones. Okay, let's put those away so we don't go too butterfly crazy. This is not a butterfly themed book. The purple page doesn't really need anything except it needs something to go in its tuck spot. We'll work on that another day. And the pink page doesn't really need anything, although it does have this blank place. I don't think I want to put blue there again. Does look good though, doesn't it? Those colors just look great together. Let's go for it. We've got enough. So there's way more than one way to fix if you don't like the look of that where the pattern just ends. This is one of the ways. And I know that some people would just let this fray. And that's okay. It may end up fraying anyway. Back to our 3-in-1. And this probably isn't going to stick off the edge as much because I want to cover this blank spot. It's going to stick off just the scalloped edge there. Will just be hanging off the edge. And that page didn't really need firming up because it's more of it's a thicker coloring book paper, adult coloring book. So let's find the other side of that and do that there too. Now I don't know if, I don't think this would benefit from like burning the end. It's more cottony. If it was polyester, then you would be able to burn the end and kind of melt it. And just the scallop hanging off the edge. Just that touch of blue. And then whatever I do on this card that goes in these pockets, I'll try to include some of that sort of denim-y blue color. So we got our avocado dyed page with the blue edge, our graph with the lace edge, our coffee dyed with the butterfly and ruffled edge. This is pretty flimsy. I don't think it's going to hold much. Doesn't need much. This needs something, but I don't know what. Maybe that would be a good place for this. The one line in there is almost the exact color. It's sort of, I think it's supposed to be red. And I could have this sticking out so that you can see it. Have it so that the roses are on the page, but this edging is off the page. I don't know how I want to cut this. Almost feel like I should zigzag it, but I'm just going to use my Wanda scissors. They're nice and sharp, and I keep them out of the glue so they're not gluey. And now I said I was going to glue the roses down, so I think I'm going to glue on the back side of the ribbon instead of on the page, and get the glue mostly where the roses are. Because it's very lacy. Don't want it to be glued down solid, you know, because then it would just be stiff. And then there's a little bit of a rose on the bottom here. And then maybe just right along the edge where I'm gonna glue it down. Get those strings. And maybe over here just a strip so that it doesn't lift. Make sure I've got it. So this is the leading edge. And that takes up a lot of the writing space on there, but I think that that really looks nice. The green and the pink look good together. And then it doesn't seem so kind of industrial office supplies feeling. I'll cut off this excess. Stretched it a bit, I guess. Yeah, I like that. And then maybe this page just gets a tab made out of this lace. It'll look good up against the blue even. I might want to do some stamping or something there. So I think what I'm going to do is tuck these scraps into the book somewhere before I clean up today, so that they stay with it in case I want to use more of it. So I'm going to go back to my other ledger sheet, and then I think we're going to call this video I'm going to do it on this leading edge, don't I? Yeah, so I can see it. I'm going to do it the same way. I will roughly cut it to length, even though I might need to trim it again. I probably should have left that edge a little scruffy, but I didn't, and it's too late. This side is a little whiter, so I'm putting the glue on the whiter side. It does seem to stretch when I put it down. It doesn't stick to that page. It is stretchy lace, so that's probably why it's distorted. Some of these little bits off of here. And it's getting a little chunky just with those edges, so I need to get some more bulk back in the book itself, not just right on the edge. And the tags will do that when they get made. So I hope this inspires you to see some different ways you can decorate edges of pages and make a simple page seem more special, and also how you get that peekaboo effect when you see the blue with the pink and then the ivory and then the little tab sticking out. If all the pages are exactly the same size, you won't get that. This one definitely needs something. It's not even a very straight cut. Is that the only page I haven't decorated? I think it is. That one's decorated. Oh, this one isn't decorated either. But I think it's more like a tissue paper. I don't think it needs to be decorated, but this one feels like it does need something, doesn't it? All right, what are we gonna do? Let's do it. I think maybe more of the ivory. I have enough of the blue, but I don't think I want something that thick again. This was my Timu top offcuts. I don't think there's enough there. But 2 pieces about the same. There's a third. Oh, there's some wider stuff. Yeah, this might add a nice, interesting element. A little bit of a scallop and some polka dots, little pom-pom sort of things. What the heck, let's do it. Then we'll be done for the day. It does add quite a bit of thickness. I'm not trying to have that sticking out very far. I'm using it more just so that that page doesn't feel so plain. And it's going to be on the back side of the page, poking out. That does it, just not so plain. And then here, I'll do it on this side, because here it's facing, so here I'll have it facing the page, the rose page. Those scissors are just so gummed. They're Fiskars, they're good scissors, but they've been used and abused. They're not very sharp anymore. Getting all gluey. Nice to use this so soon. I just cut it up a week or so ago, 2 weeks maybe. Get this glue off my fingers. Just a tiny trim. Doesn't even need it down here. So the next time that we work on this, we'll probably be doing some tags to go in the tuck spots and or ephemera to go in the tuck spots. But I'm happy. Oh, there's another plain page, but I'm okay with it. I'm happy with the way this has turned out. Junky, but not too junky. I might have overdone it with the lace and the trims, But at least I did something else in terms of these edges. I'm not happy that that is torn. Might have to rip that page out. And I might do that because it's 2 beige pages together. Let's rip that page right out. Because it's done the same thing over here. It's gotten stuck in. I'll use that somewhere else. Yeah, I like that better without the other beige page there. Yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed that. It gives you some ideas, what to do, what not to do, whatever it might be. It is making it thick, having all that lace, so be cautious of that. And don't use all thick edges, because now this is going to be a bit of a gator mouth. I'll have to figure out a closure. I can glue something on the back side maybe that can go around and tie. I do like the way it's coming. And I do have a spot here that I can put another tag or something too, front and back. Gotta work on those. Anyway, like, comment, share, subscribe. Most of all, have a great day and happy crafting.